Consumer Problems, Faulty Items, Ricky Pacheco, FCS 302. Objectives. After this presentation, I will be able to 1. Define a consumer. 2. Define consumer problems. 3. Define what a faulty item is. 4. Recognize a faulty item. 5. Know your consumer rights. 6. How to handle report faulty items. What is a consumer? A consumer is one who acquires goods and services for ultimate consumption, or use by a person, family, or household. What are consumer problems? Conditions that cause dissatisfaction in the process of selecting, using, or disposing goods and services. 4 consumer problems exist. Number 1, the inability or unwillingness of producers to fully satisfy consumer needs and interests. Consumer problem number 2, a lack of consumer information on important matters such as performance, durability, likelihood of defects, and health and safety threats. Consumer problem number 3, a market system that does not resolve consumer grievances very easily or effectively, as observed by Manus. Consumer problem number 4, underrepresentations of the consumer interest in government occurs to a point where many public policy decisions overly favor producers to detriment of consumers. Examples of consumer complaints. Number 1, autos. Consumers complain about the false advertisement or being sold a lemon car. Credit and debit. Consumers complain about hidden fees and charges. Landlord and tenants. Renters complain about unhealthy, unsafe living conditions and lack of maintenance and repairs. Faulty items. What is it? Faulty items are a major default where an item does not work as it is supposed to. Examples of faulty items. Number 1, a new washing machine that fills up with water but does not spin or empty out. Number 2, a new toaster that does not heat up. Number 3, a new blender that does not blend. Your protection. Federal Trade Commission Act, FTC. What do? Number 1, outlaws unfair methods of competition and outlaws unfair acts or practices that affect consumers. Number 2, they take complaints about businesses that don't make good on their promises or cheat people out of money. Number 3, shares complaints with law enforcement partners and use them to investigate fraud and eliminate unfair business practices. Your rights as a consumer. Your consumer rights protect you when you buy goods and services. This means you have rights by law, which a shop or service provider can't change. There are 4 rights. Number 1, right to safety, protection from hazardous goods. Number 2, right to be informed. Number 3, the right to choose. Number 4, the right to be heard. How to avoid faulty items. Here are a few tips. Number 1, before you shop, do your research. Number 2, make sure the company has a license to sell. Number 3, read customer reviews on products you wish to buy. Number 4, read over company warranties. Number 5, read over return and refund policies. What to do if you encounter faulty items. Number 1, returning damaged items. Some retailers replace or offer merchandise credit. Number 2, use the cooling off rule. Federal law gives buyers 3 days to cancel purchases of $25 or more. Number 3, file a complaint with the Bureau of Federal Trade Commission. References. Here's a list of the 3 references which I used to create this PowerPoint.